Hello folks, Reloading Bench back with you once again. And tonight we have a couple of boxes that we're going to open up. But I wanted to start with a conversation I had with my mailman recently when he was delivering. And he said, "Oh, I've got a package for you." And I made a comment about, "Oh, cool, thanks." And I was talking about porch pirates and whatnot. And I said, "Oh, yeah, neighbor had a whole bunch of packages on their porch, and I'd be worried if that was me because of, again, the porch pirates, holiday season, all that stuff." And that's when he told me that the shippers are now putting tracking on packages. And he says they're doing it in the labels. And he showed me some examples where you could see, when you go to the store and you buy something, there's that little white, tag that's like an inch long and a quarter inch wide, and it trips the electronic sensor. Well, I went to peel the labels off this package, and when I peeled the shipping label, with my name and address on this one, check out, we got a little electronics here. So this is an exact example of what he was talking about. So if this package was, removed from my porch, there would be a way to track it. And I thought, wow, technology is kicking in. So let's open these boxes. Hopefully this is what I expect it to be. Otherwise, this will not be a coherent video. Or at least it won't apply to what I think I'm doing. Okay, that's an awful lot of tape on this one. Whew. All right, so let me get rid of all my personal info. And we'll leave that one there like that. I can leave you wondering, what in the heck is that? And these were both ordered from the same vendor. Interesting, again, when I looked at, there was this label, and then there was a label taped on here, which made it look like it was coming from, a person as opposed to this particular large company that has that label or that symbol. So, all right, so this one has no personally identifiable information, but it is what I was expecting. This is a 2.5-inch SATA SSD 4 terabyte drive. And I was watching these, and hopefully this is the Seagate spinning disk version 2.5-inch 4 terabyte drive. All right, so these are what I thought they would be. Let me go ahead and open up. Where is the... Okay, so this one looks like it's on the side here. And this is a follow-up to a video I started, or at least I published, as what I'm doing regarding, wow, this is so nothingness in terms of weight. Because my strategy is to apply different drive technologies that are independent of a particular platform. Because I showed my RAID challenge. Wow, look how big that puppy is. 4 terabyte, 2.5-inch drive, SATA. Yeah, that's some difference there. Hopefully this fits what I'm intending to use it for. So I showed you a while back, or talked about and showed the product that I wanted to move towards, and that was, again, this, the Sabrent 4-bay 2.5-inch hard drive SSD docking station, because my intent was to move away from another power failure issue related to my RAID array. Granted, that RAID array was from 2007-ish, so it's, going on, we're almost in 2025, so it's, almost 20 years. Close to. So, I don't know that any of these make a difference. Okay, so this one doesn't like to open and close too much. So guess what's going there? I guess that was an easy choice. So we will be putting the Seagate in. Ooh, that doesn't fit. Oh, that's fucked up. Wow. That's messed up. So, look at that. Wow. I was not expecting that. Wow. I don't know what to say. I'm caught off guard. Because it says it's a hard drive and SSD docking station, but I'm unable to use it for this particular 4 terabyte. I wonder if that's just too thick. I wonder if the 2 terabytes are that much smaller. So this goes in this way. Okay, so that's in there. Wow, I don't know what to say. I thought all hard drives were the same thickness in terms of the 2.5-inch. Maybe because there's so many platters in this that's why it's so thick. Okay, I was caught off guard. Wasn't expecting that. So this is a fail. So my new storage strategy isn't as strategic as I was hoping it would be. So that's a bit of a bummer, I must say. Yeah, sometimes the best plans fail, and I'm not liking the fact that doesn't even close. So I wonder if there's something that I could get to make that close. Huh? That's weird. So these open and close. That one kind of didn't. So I wonder if I can. Oh, that worked. Sometimes a little brute force does the trick. Wow, I'm bummed. I'm really bummed. There's no way that is fitting in there. Wow. That's, I mean, there is no way you can see. I could, yeah, that is not fitting. And it has to actually go this way because of the SATA connection. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Wow. I'll have to look and see if I bought the wrong drive. That if there's a difference in 4 terabyte drives. I honestly don't know. I thought that would be compatible with our friend here. So the SSD portion works, but I would have to, if I wanted to use this, I couldn't take advantage of my cute little cabinet here because this would now have to sit outside the cabinet. So I'm wondering, and I'll probably not publish this video for a while, I'm wondering if I bought a 2 terabyte, 2 terabyte hard drive, if that was the better way to go, and maybe slim this down to 2 terabytes as well. Yeah, that was a surprise. I was not expecting this not to fit. That's a bit of a bummer. So I don't know if there are smaller 2 terabyte drives. So we're going to call this a fail, and learn something new all the time. And wow, yeah, that I don't know what to say. I'm kind of speechless. I thought this would be a no-brainer. You buy some drives, a hard drive, an SSD, a hard drive, and you just pop it in there. Because I have, and I think when I showed this, I showed an old 500 gig drive, SATA non-SSD, an actual hard drive, spinning disk, and that worked fine. So I do have the Sabrent cable that allows me to connect via USB. In fact, I will grab that and show that. Be right back. So I am a fan of the Seagate Barracuda line, but boy, that's a TMF, thick mother. Just wasn't expecting that level of size. And you know what? I don't know if other brands, and I will plug this in to, you know, make sure it works, but this is a Sabrent USB 3. There's my blue. I will plug it in and make sure it spins up. But, you know, I don't feel like having that sitting on my desk, because the whole point was to have this sitting on my desk. Yeah, that's a bummer. That's a bit of a bummer. Put a little crimp in my storage strategy, that is for sure. All right, so we're gonna call this a bit of a failure, and I don't know if I'm gonna do a plan B or if I'm gonna actually try and make that work. I honestly don't know. Anybody have any suggestions? You know, does it make sense to step this down? You know, this doesn't matter. Keep the 4 terabytes, but does it make sense to step this down to 2 terabytes? The cost is essentially the same as 2 terabytes versus 1 4 terabyte, and I would imagine the 2 terabyte drive is going to be smaller. Yeah, I was not prepared for that. So surprise, surprise. And if anybody knows where that phrase came from, please leave it in the comments. Surprise, surprise. Hello, folks. My unplanned change or shift in potential plans for my evolving storage strategy, based on the fact that this particular spinning hard drive is much thicker than I anticipated, in the sense that it won't fit in the Sabrent dock. So I'm going to give Sabrent a call to see if they have a dock, a newer version of this or another that'll fit this larger drive. I did not know that 2.5-inch laptop drives come in 4, they call them heights, but they're calling this the height, which I would call the thickness. So whether you call that height or thickness, this is a 15 millimeter. And the 3 terabyte and above spinning disk drives are in this thickness, the 15 millimeter. Unfortunately, the Sabrent is a 13 millimeter opening, so it can only accommodate the other 3 sizes, the 7 millimeter, the 9.5 millimeter, and the 12.5 millimeter. So that's a bit of an issue. So what we've got here, and as you can see, yet another different way of packing a device. I think the other two, oh, okay, so it's a box in a bag, as opposed to what did we have previously? 2 different types of boxes, one big box, one little box. So this is, wow, this, it says this is a 2 terabyte Seagate spinning disk, but wow, this feels really light, like as if there's nothing in it. And I can't say it was stolen because the box, the bag wasn't open, and inside. Okay, so inside the box, we have another bag. And inside the bag, okay, so there is the form factor / thickness I was expecting. And I'm not going to open this because I don't need to right now. But I picked this up as, you know, am I going crazy? I thought this is what I'm used to with a thinny, laptop-y kind of drive, the 2.5. All right, let me zero that out. And this should be 7 or 9.5 millimeters. We're going to call it 7.19, but you've got some wrapping on there, and I'm also probably touching a high point. Yeah, so 6.9. Yeah, I'm going to call this a 7 millimeter thickness or height, which will fit in my Sabrent just fine. The only problem is this is 2 terabytes. This is 4 terabytes. So now I have to come again after I call Sabrent to see if they offer a different version with larger bays than this. I have to figure out, all right, do I send the Sabrent back? Do I abandon the single dock 4 slot station approach? Or do I go with the equivalent of this, which is this is a Western Digital version of this inside a case. That's all that is. It's this size drive in this case. This is 120 bucks. This was 140 bucks. So this is already more expensive. And if I purchase a case, and you have to be careful because not all cases will accommodate a 15 millimeter drive. So you have to get a case that will support a 15 millimeter hard drive case, a case that will support a 15 millimeter hard drive. So by buying this case and putting for, another $11, let's just call it $13 after tax. So another $13 added on to this gives me this. And it will be the same micro USB cable. So it would be cheaper for me to go to the store and just buy more of these than to turn this into that. But I didn't want to have a bunch of these, extra cases that I have to put together and make the hard drive. And the same thing would have to happen with this. I don't need to get this particular version. I can get a smaller version, but why not keep the same look if I'm going to abandon the dock? I like the dock. I don't want to abandon the dock. So some will say, well, then why don't you just change your drive sizes? Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of having this manual mirror set because, this 4 terabyte would mirror this 4 terabyte. If I go down the path of leveraging or using this dock, I could stick with the 4 terabyte SSD and then have two 2 terabyte spinning disks, or I could change my entire strategy, get rid of this 4 terabyte, and just go with all 2 terabytes. SSD 2 terabyte, spinning disk 2 terabyte in this particular single dock. I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm at a point of inflection. I do not know what I'm going to do. But I picked this up as a, and this was 99 bucks. So, not a bad price. But, for 140 bucks, you get double the, I'm just not the biggest fan of 2 terabyte. I don't think it's the sweet spot anymore. I think the 4 terabyte is the sweet spot. So it'd be great if Sabrent offered a bigger or different dock that has a bigger slot or bigger opening that would accommodate a 15 millimeter hard drive, or I go to this solution. So I'm not sure. So this saga is not as done as I thought it was going to be. I like these. Don't get me wrong. I really like these. But, if I'm going to go down this path, it should have been, this version with this particular version. And this is a 5 terabyte drive, and I don't get a 5 terabyte SSD. So again, I'm back to the mixy and matchy. And again, the whole purpose of doing this was to just spread the data across different drive technologies. My son was saying, Dad, why don't you just get 4 SSDs, and if one fails, you just replace it, or you're already mirroring it. So he has a point. The SSDs are more expensive than the spinning disks. So, and I do actually like the idea of mixing the technology. So SSD with spinning disk, because, spinning disk will ultimately fail, as will SSD in terms of the read-write cliff eventually, or just, going bonkers. Because technology does go bonkers. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm at a fork in the road in terms of decision making. So if anybody has any thoughts or ideas, put them in the comments, and we'll see where we go. And as I was packing things up, I remembered something I wanted to cover. If I go down the dock path, it has to be a powered dock. So we're dealing with another AC adapter, which this has. If I go down this path, the USB is, I'll call it self-powered, meaning the USB powers the particular drive. So if I hook up my Sabrent attachment, the Sabrent version of this for a SATA, that's self-powered. Same thing with this 4 terabyte. If I hook up the Sabrent self-power or Sabrent cable, that's self-powered. So if I go down, this path, they're all self-powered. I don't need extra AC adapter because I won't be doing a dock. It'll be directly plugged into the USB interface on the computer or a hub. So that's also something to consider, the power issues. So in any case, if this failed, I would still be using like the Sabrent SATA connector to attach to the drive so that I could read the drive. Again, that's the benefit of moving away from the proprietary solutions that I currently have with RAID 5, RAID 6 across different vendors. Is I can't take those drives out and just plug them into a cable or an IDE or SATA reader and drive reader and expect to access my data. It has to be via the backplane of the RAID array and the firmware / software that RAID array uses. So there's advantages to going both, and I may go down both. So let me see what Sabrent says.